Okay, so we are doing the first descriptive toxicity test, which is known as acute toxicity testing, and it is also popularly known as single dose study. Herein, it is the first toxicity test which is performed on laboratory animals for a new chemical which has to be brought into the market. It is a part of a preclinical trials. So it involves administration of a single exposure of a new chemical, and the observation is done for say about 14 days. For example, you have different doses like 1 milligram, 2 milligram, 3 milligram, 4 milligram, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 milligram. These 10 doses are given to 10 groups of animals of 10 each. That means 10 group 10 animals are given 1 milligram. This is group 1. Another set of 10 animals are given 2 milligram. Another set of animals are given 3 milligram. Another set of animals are given 4 milligram. So in this way, 10 groups of animals are given different doses of the same chemical, and only single exposure is being done. That is, the drug is administered or the exposure is done only once. Only once group 1 animal is given 1 milligram of the drug. Only once the group 2 animals are given 2 milligram of drug. Only once group 3 animals are given 3 milligram of the drug. All the animals are given 3 milligram each. All the animals are given 2 milligram each. All the animals are given 1 milligram each in each and every group, whether it is 1, 2, 3 and 4, so on and so in this case, generally when we do these tests, we either go it by more than one route of administration. One route of administration means how the drug is administered to the animal. So first is oral, definitely that is very much required. And the second one is intended route. That is, if at all we are making a drug which is to be applied onto the skin. So that is the intended route of drug administration. So that is another drug, that is another route that is being given to the animal. So one set of animals are given oral route of drug administration. The another set of animals are given the intended route of exposure. So the animals which are being used are in the acute toxicity test are mouse and rat, and the studies are performed on both male and female animals. And before going for a dosing, a day before, a night before, 12 hours of fasting is being done in the animal, so that the next morning when the dosing is done, the animals don't defecate and will not cause a lot of mess, because generally while dosing the animals in stress, they simply defecate. This is the basic outlay of the acute toxicity test. So the number of animals that die in 14-day period are tabulated from a single dosage exposure. And what is being recorded? Mortality, which is the death of the animal, is being recorded. Weight of the animal is recorded. And daily examination of test animals are being done for signs of intoxication, like in the form of lethargy if it is seen in the animal, some kind of behavioral modifications, morbidity, that is some illness, or changes in the food consumption. All these things are being looked into. Next is, what do we get out of these acute toxicity tests? We can easily estimate the intrinsic toxicity, which is measured in the form of lethal dose 50 or LD50. Lethal dose 50 is nothing but the dose that is responsible for killing of 50% of the test population. So say for example, we have taken 10 group of animals and the dose is given from 1 milligram to 10 milligram. So it is the 8 milligram which is causing lethality in 50% of the population. So 8 milligram becomes the lethal dose for that particular drug by that route of drug administration. It provides information on the target organs and other clinical manifestation of toxicity is being done. As the animal die, autopsy is done. So the target organ where the maximum toxicity happens is being looked into. And likewise, as the animals are observed every day for the toxicity, so we look into any kind of changes that are being seen or the toxicity that is being observed in the form of physiological output that is being picked. Other than that, identify species differences and susceptibility of susceptible species is being identified. So as it is done in mouse and rats, we see that where the toxicity is seen more, if it is seen more in mice, then that is recorded. If it is seen more in rat, then that is being recorded. Beside this, as the animal is observed for 14 days, the reversibility of toxic response is also looked into. That is, if at all a lower dose is given to the animal shows initially some kind of morbidity or illness, and then by 14 day the animal is hale and hearty or healthy. So we see that a compound is toxic in nature, but the toxicity is being reversed by the animal also. Maybe it is biotransformed, or it is being it does not cause that kind of toxic action which would result in adverse effect or ill effect or deleterious effect. It also provides assistance for designing and dose selection of long-term toxicity tests. So not only we get to know about the LD50, but the further toxicity tests which are being required to be done, they can be done by the dosage regimen that is being taken up in the uh, acute toxicity test. Because if we have say 8 milligram was our LD50 dose, then we can let go of a drug dosage of 8 milligram and higher, and we can now work around 1 to 8 milligram of dosage, and there we can plan for other long-term toxicity tests which are subacute, subchronic and chronic toxicity tests. So, thank you.